All right.
Namaste and blessings, everyone. It is Goddess Star and Goddess Rhonda with our Witch Times Television Midnight Margarita Show. We have missed you guys so much.
So much.
Here we are. First, of course, a blessed new moon for everyone.
Yes.
And so tonight we're going to be talking about our New Year's resolutions. But of course, before we do, we always like to cast a circle of protection around us. Tonight we're going to be talking about. We also like to mute.
You know what? Check on muting to make sure we've muted everything on the other side because I'm hearing,
So
Okay.
there.
Okay, sounds like a plan.
Okay, now we're muted.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's go back and where we were. Okay, so as always, we like to cast a circle of protection around us.
Charcoal is surviving.
All hail, our lords and ladies of the East, our brothers and sisters, our brother and patron, the sacred element of air, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. We charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is, so mote it be.
So it is, and so mote it be. All hail our lords and ladies of the South, my brother and sisters, my brother and patron, the sacred element of fire, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction. From corner to corner and end to end, let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is, and so mote it be.
So it is. All hail, our ladies of the West, our brothers and sisters, our sister and patron, the sacred element of water, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. We charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction. From corner to corner and end to end, let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you. So it is. So mote it be.
So it is, and so mote it be. All hail our lords and ladies of the North, my brothers and sisters, my sister and patron, the sacred element of earth. Namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge you, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is, and so mote it be.
So it is. So mote it. And we now break down the cosmic light from the sacred source of all well being and fill all of our spaces with peace and protection always. So it is, so mote it be.
So it is, and so mote it be.
All righty. So tonight
Yeah.
we're going to be doing our New Year's resolution show because I know, at the end of the year, I'm like, yep, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then it's only July 5th, and I'm already like, I think I'm just going to watch Netflix and do nothing. And so by helping you guys stay on track, you're also helping us stay on track with our resolutions too, because we have to do the homework too. And so we're going to talk about some things like what it is that kind of holds us back, why our resolutions can be challenges, and what we can do to try to help ourselves, get through this next period and stay on track with the goals that we have set aside for us. Right, guys, Star?
Absolutely. Here we go.
Here we go. So, like, one of my resolutions, which as always, I always want to do too much, but I'm trying to break it down to manageable chunks of time. One of my resolutions is I want to study a new skill set. You know,
There you go.
you can speak to this with me because of
Uh-huh.
our lives and because of our businesses and because of what we do. We're always on the teaching end, but we
Yeah.
need to be on the student end. And we always talk about you got to keep learning, we got to keep evolving, we got to keep doing this. And I'm like, I'm always talking about that, but when do I set the time aside?
Right.
5,000 books that I've purchased and not read yet. When am I
Yeah.
going to actually do, up my own skills? And so one of my resolutions is to find the time to do that. If it's 15 minutes a day, 20 minutes, something, even if I
Yeah.
just 5 minutes, something, at least I can say I worked on something for myself today. What's one of your resolutions this year? Got a star?
Girl, one of mine resolution is I am going to write that bloody book. I've already began and I am going to finish it in a timely manner and get it published. Ow! I am so determined because I've been, you know me, I've been trying for so long, trying to get it all done because I've just been busy and I want to be able to accomplish that. And I'm trying, I've literally gotten to at least 10 to 15 minutes a day, hopefully, in learning something new, or at least trying to read a few pages. Because as you guys can see, I have tons of books, and a lot of them I have not read because I just haven't had the time. I'm always teaching, like Goddess Rhonda said. Um, Tomorrow is a big day of teaching as well. It's one thing after the other. And it's kind of like you end up being a Jill of all trades
Yeah.
because you're so busy. You know so many different things at the same time, but yet you have so much more to learn because, like we've always said, a wise witch never stops learning because you can't. It's just so many things. Life is evolving, so we have to evolve with it to adjust and to keep up. And we just have to always be learning. So, in a way, this book is going to teach me as well
Mhm.
because it's reminding me about all the different types of topics and knowledge that I know of. And
Right.
um, in a way, it's kind of self-teaching at the same time. So I'm learning and I'm going and I'm on the second chapter and I'm going and I'm gonna get there.
Wow, you're on the second chapter. Congratulations, that's progress.
You know, right?
Listen, I know how hard it is. To get to the second chapter is like, wow, that's actually big. So I'm proud of you. Good for you.
Yes, I'm a trying girl. I'm trying.
So before we talk about some of our challenges with staying on track, let's first, of course, greet everybody in the chat room. We just love you so
We
much.
missed
We
you
miss you
guys
so much.
so much. We just wanted you to know we really, really missed you guys. We were like discussing it behind the scenes, going, we really want to get back on there with everyone. But just life and our computers. But here we are. So it's a new year, it's a new time, and we love having you guys and just seeing you guys. So go ahead, girl. Are you gonna who's out there?
All right, so let's take a look and see. And as I'm looking at what we're broadcasting, it looks like my camera might be a little blurry, which I apologize for. I don't know if that's just on my end or everybody else's, but if it is, we're dealing with some technical issues, but we're still rolling forward anyway. So let's see who we got. We've got Goddess Jim who says Happy New Moon. Happy New Moon to you, of course. We've got Goddess Debbie who says Merry Me. My new year is starting off with me having gallbladder pain really bad. Also, I don't make resolutions, I do goals. Well, first, I hope your gallbladder gets better. We're sending
Yeah.
you lots of energy and light to help you with that. I kind of like that you do goals instead of resolutions because goals are ever changing. Once you reach one, you change it to something else. So I kind of like that.
Yeah.
We've got Junia saying, I'm actually staying on track right now. My resolution is to lose 30 pounds. It's day 8, and I forgot to work out this morning, so I'm on the treadmill now. You go, guys.
All right. All right. Proud of you,
Please
girl.
walk a mile for me too. I'd appreciate it if you could. So Debbie's goals are to first get better, get her health back on track, stay creative, stay positive, and learn the ukulele.
All right.
Like the ukulele anymore. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And we've got it's Micah, who says, rejoicing in the new moon in 2019. Blessings to you both. Blessings to you as
Blessings.
well.
Blessings.
And Jem goes on to say, I'm going to focus more on myself, stop putting things I want to do on the shelf. Good for you. And not become emotionally invested in other people's drama. I am so.
Oh my goddess, that's a big deal. That's a big deal, Jen.
That was a big deal for me too, to
Yeah, it
learn
is.
to pay attention to what's going on in my own battlefield. Because, I'm looking at everybody else's battlefield and coming to their rescue. They don't need me. They're experienced witches and warlocks and everything else. Meanwhile, I'm looking at their battlefield and trying to defend them. And all this, my enemy is sneaking up on me and taking over. And I turn around and they're right in my face and I have to defend myself. So I think that's great to just mind your own business and roll with what you have to do. That's one of my things also this year is I'm going to be determined to mind my own business and work my own battlefield and defeat my own enemies, my own challenges, and let everyone else deal with what they have to do too. Of course, I'm always willing to help if someone asks me for help, but I'm not just going to insert myself on their battlefield because if they're not asking me, they don't need me. So they can handle it. So that's, I think, is really great to focus on what it is you're trying to achieve for yourself. Because that's a big issue for empaths. We don't pay enough attention to our own selves and we don't pay enough attention. We don't even get on our own priority list. When have you been on your own priority list, Got a Star?
Oh goddess, you really had to ask me that, didn't you? Put me on the spot. Actually, you know what? I think by actually making the statement and saying I'm going to do this book, I thought of myself because I have put it on the back burner. I have taught everybody, reached out to have everybody, counseling people, doing everything. And people have said to me for many years, why haven't you written a book? And I'm like, I just don't have the time. I'm always so busy. I'm always with clients. I'm always with this. I'm always with that. I'm always doing an event. It's just like, and then I just kind of said, and you encouraging me and others behind me going, okay, enough is enough. Find some time for yourself. Do this. You've got to do this. So there you go. I think that's me doing a little bit of self-care and deciding that I have got to do this for myself. And a part of that is also this year I've decided I'm going to somehow find myself back in that gym or in the pool or something more. Find a time to take care of me more. I want to build up my strength in my body despite the lupus all around it. I want to see what I can do possibly. So we'll see. What about you, Goddess? What have you been doing for self-care?
Well, actually, I just downloaded the Peloton app. I always saw their commercials. They do this exercise bike thing, and spinning classes. Spinning classes are hard. I'm not going to lie, but now they do all kinds of stuff, and you can live stream it on your computer or your phone or your tablet. And because I joined a gym, when do I have time? I never get there. But I might have 15 minutes where I can download or stream one of their classes, and you can use your own equipment. I can use my own weights. I can use my own treadmill. I can use my own exercise bike. I've got enough stuff here. I can open my own freaking gym, and I don't do it. And so I downloaded that app because you can get 2 months free, a 2-month free trial. So I'm going to give it a try so I can just get up, do a workout, and then get to work so I can also get back into shape. Although I have to tell you, moving to this place in the mountains,
Oh my goodness, yeah.
I'm outside shoveling snow, I'm walking up and down the stairs. It's already becoming more of a healthier place for me. And so I feel like I could take it to the next level with that. But my main focus is, aside from my own health, because one of I work out of a metaphysical store here, and one of our readers who has been there probably for 15 years, in his 80s, passed away on Friday, and I was very sad to hear that. He's probably one of the best mediums you could ever meet. And I was thinking about his life, and this man worked a full-time job literally till the day he died. He worked
Wow.
full-time, he worked the weekends. He worked the weekends doing readings, and he had a regular job. And I'm thinking to
Oh,
myself, I don't want to work
yeah.
until my 80s. You know,
No.
I do
It
that.
should
I
be
need to.
relaxing. And if you're doing reading, it's more out of, leisure and not, out of I've got to do it to help. This is part of what I earn. You know what I mean? That's
Really,
yeah,
I don't
that's
want
sad.
to. I don't want to work until I'm in my 80s until I literally die, transition
Yeah,
over. And so I'm also working on shoring up my finances, shoring up my
yeah,
finances for my old age. I want to
yeah,
make sure that when I'm ready to retire or take it easy or take a break, I can do that. So I'm also projecting for the future and
yeah,
getting in the present, I guess, and learning a new skill set just so I can learn it. I love to learn and I feel like I need to. It's something I want to do. I've invested just like you have. How many thousands of dollars have you invested in these books that are sitting there looking at us like, you going to read me today?
yeah,
Or
yeah, yeah.
I've been putting them into.
Not just forget about it. Not just in books, like equipment and stuff to work out, which I couldn't use because of my lupus, and I'm gonna try to do it anyways. I mean, just all the things that we have set aside for ourselves that we did it to invest in ourselves, but we never completed it. We need to learn to start. It's not procrastination because obviously we went and we bought it. Um, it's literally saying that we are too busy to take care of us. We're too busy to finish what we started. And we have to literally start finishing those things.
We do. We do. We have to finish what we started, and we have to learn some new things, like everybody else. And like you said, maybe it's not procrastination. Although I have to admit, I will procrastinate on some things depending on what my priority of the minute is. That's where my problem is. I'll say, well, you know what? I need to get this. This has to be first. I'll do this one later. And then later comes and goes, and I forgot
Yeah.
about it. And another day has gone by. And so I didn't deliberately procrastinate, but I didn't procrastinate because if I had just taken care of it that second, then I would have been okay. But there's other things that, we will deliberately procrastinate. And that's why I liked what Goddess Debbie said about goals. Because instead of saying, you know what, I'm going to lose 50 pounds this year, in my mind, I got plenty of time. It's only January. And then it's
It's
February.
not.
I
It's
still
not.
have 11 months left, so I can get started on my exercises this month. Or, oh, it's March. I still have, 9 months. I'll get to it. Meanwhile,
Mm.
November, it is like I haven't lost a pound and I haven't done anything. And it's
You
like, what am I
haven't changed
supposed
anything. You haven't done anything. Yes, I know. And
to
it's
do?
not. The year is very short when you think about it.
I
Oh,
read,
actually, you know what? When you think about it, I remember when we were younger. I don't know. I know you remember this. When we're younger, we think the year is so long. As you get
yes,
older, it is extremely short because all the things you have to do. Let half the year go by. I didn't even get to do the spit of this. You know what I mean? And you have so much to do because every single day you pack a whole lifetime into every day, and none of it is about you in a way.
right.
It is and it isn't because yes, we have these goals about when we get older we want to retire at a certain age and be able to say I've got it, set aside or whatever. Um, and yes, that's a good thought, but literally to live every day like if you're living a full lifetime and you're so busy that you cannot take time for you, whether it's to lose weight or get into shape or even read that book that you want to. I even put on movies that I love my movies, as you can see. I put on movies and I'm so busy doing everything else. I'm like, what just happened? I don't even know. And I just let
Right? That too.
and you just don't know and you're like, did I really watch it? And then when you finally really try to watch it, you're like, oh, I didn't see that before. Because you didn't. You were so busy doing everything else that even when you try to have a bit of enjoyment, you don't because you are so busy working through that enjoyment, that
Right.
I don't think we know how to just sit and enjoy.
No.
We don't know how to just. That's why I try to go to the movies because If I go to the movies, I even have tried to work there on my laptop and then I stopped. I was trying to write my book while I was sitting waiting for the movie to start. I'm like, oh no, I don't. I can't believe I'm doing that. No, I have to stop and just watch the movie and enjoy it, especially when it was Jason Momoa. Please, you do not want to just not, be distracted. You want to see him all in his glory.
You have to your eyes drink him in. You know what
Huh?
happens? Just like you said, even just taking time to sit and watch
Yeah.
it. So by the time I finish the day and finally say, okay, I'm going to sit and I'm going to watch this movie, I'm so tired. I'm asleep. As soon as the movie comes on, within like, I'm out. And so then I wake up like the movie's over. And it's like, dang it, I missed the movie again. So I'm
Yeah.
really making a concerted effort to get on my priority list and put my stuff first. And so that I can actually evolve too, because we're all supposed to be evolving.
I
And
remember last year we said at the beginning of 2018, we mentioned that Christopher Penczak said that he actually puts in. I think it was you that said that he actually has his calendar or whatever it is, and he writes in time for
yes,
Christopher to do da 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 for himself. Time, and
yeah,
he you don't deteriorate, don't let anyone take that time away from you and all those different. He pencils himself in for
he
certain things,
does.
and we said we were gonna do that, and I don't know if we quite did that this year.
I didn't. Well, I did for some things. I did.
Some
For
of the
some
things I
things,
did, some of
I
the things I
did,
did do that.
but
And
not
then
as much
some,
as I
you
should
find
have.
yourself going, okay, fine, because people are constantly emailing or messaging you, that you finally kind of go, okay, fine, let me see if I could find some time for you. And you're squeezing them in between things. And you're like, really? You know, it's just for some reason we have a hard time saying, no, we can't help you right now.
Yeah.
So, it's just
Phone in
what we
another
do.
room. I started putting my phone in another room. I turn it off and put it in another room so I can't hear it buzz. Focus on what I have to do. There's a great book for those of you out there, and I have it here somewhere. And I said I was going to employ some of these tactics, and of course I didn't. And now I have no clue. My book is, I have so many books I have to try to find the 8-hour work week, and it actually teaches you how to manage your day in such a way that you can actually get things done in less time than normal. So it's a good, when I was reading it, it sounded great in theory. I can't honestly say I tried it all out because, as usual, I got caught up in other things and I didn't. But, give it a shot and look at it. But I liked what, again, getting back to what God, as Debbie said, this year with my physical fit, and I'm not thinking it in terms of weight loss. It's not important to me. What's important to me is being fit. But so what I want to do though is instead of saying, okay, I'm going to lose this much or get in this kind of shape by the end of the year, I'm doing small goals. Like my goal is to get into a habit of working out 3 times a week this month. That's my
Right,
goal.
right.
Even if all I do is work out for 5 minutes and not putting any pressure or overloading myself, it's like that's the first thing I'm going to establish is working out 3 times a week. Just a small goal because I can do that. Because one of my other downfalls and the downfalls of many people is my list of resolutions will be like this big. And just looking at it is overwhelming. Say, man, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. And then my mind's like, and when the hell are you going to do what are you going to get an extra day in the week? It's going to be
Yeah,
like 8
yeah,
days.
just to keep up with it. Yeah, no.
That's too much for me. So I have to work. I think it's easier, and everyone might find it better to create small goals for yourself. Like even if whatever book, whatever topic I choose to learn about, I'm not going to say, well, I'm going to read a chapter a day. I might not have a time to read a chapter a day, but if I can just read some of it, if I read 5 pages, if I read 5 paragraphs, at least I did that. I'm just trying to establish new
Something.
habits
Yeah, yeah.
first, and then I'll take it from there. What are you doing, Goddess Star, to help you maintain your goals and resolutions? Like, what are your ideas?
Well, actually, one of the things I am not doing this year are resolutions. I am not, I think this is the first year I have not written up a resolution. I have not said what I'm going to do in that sort of a way, like put it down, like how I've done in the past, write it down, put it under my candle, on my altar, and all of that. I haven't done that this year. Again, I was saying part of it was I have to say I was too busy to even do that. So I said to myself, I have got to find a way to be a more efficient worker. Because if you listen to people, they tell you, when they see things are getting harder or they can feel like the depression is coming on. And I mean, like the Great Depression, they feel things are coming. They can hear things and they're beginning to sense things. And they're going, I have to work harder. I really have to work harder and do this, whatever. And I'm like, no, I'm watching them. And that's the stress of them saying, I have to work harder. And I'm like, you're already working hard. You have to find a way to work more efficiently, not harder. We have to find a way to work smarter and more efficiently. You know, I remember, I forgot who it was that had said, I think it was Robert Kiyosaki. He had said about working more efficiently and more smart and not harder. You shouldn't have to work harder, especially as you get older. And talking and listening to you talk about that gentleman that passed away at 80 years old. He should be, and I'm sure he was doing that to make sure he covered his rent and all the different things that he had to pay for. And
Mhm.
that's what working harder does to us. And I don't
And you
want to
know,
be that way. I don't want to be that person or that witch that's, I'm working harder, or I'm working, you know, whatever it is to get these amount of goals done. I really want to work whatever my goals, as you would say, of what I want to accomplish in my life. And I'm not just saying this year. I'm saying period for the rest of the time until I can say I'm retired into that old witch that sits in the dark and or sits on the and that
right.
and like having sipping my wine. I'm not gonna say caviar because I can't stand caviar.
It's nasty.
But you know what I mean? It's just nasty. But anyways, I'm just saying that I think that I want my goal or my that's why I'm saying I'm not saying resolution is my idea is that I certain things I have to accomplish in a smart and more efficient way so that I'm thinking of my retirement. I'm thinking of, where I don't have to work for this. It's because I want to. It gives me so much pleasure that I don't mind doing it. That type of a thing.
Exactly.
And that
And you
that's
know,
that's my goal with that.
that is a plight of the elderly, though, is that, they get older, maybe their social security isn't enough.
Yeah,
And you'll see them working and you can see that they're tired, but they have to do it.
to
And
survive. Yes, and that's
oh,
sad to
really?
watch.
It's very sad. I was in the Dollar Tree. I love the Dollar Tree. And I was in the Dollar Tree one day just getting a couple of things, and there was a lady in there, and she was looking at the food things, and she looked at me and she said, "It's getting to the point that I can't afford to eat." And I'm like,
Oh
"Dang,
my
we're in the
gosh.
Dollar Tree," and she's struggling. And so, I'm also thinking in terms of not just where I want to be at the end of the year, but where do I want to be 20, 30 years from now?
Yep, that's what I mean. I can't think about the year anymore. Or maybe it's my age now that I'm no longer thinking of, because again, it just feels like those months go by so quickly, and there we are, and it's the end of the year and you're there again doing the resolutions or whatever it is. So my goal is to accomplish certain things to make sure that where I am not that person. And I feel, and I, as a matter of fact, not only am I not that person, but if I see people like that woman in that Dollar Tree, I want to be able to say to her, you know what, here's my card. I know a place you can do and work out much better and help yourself more.
Right.
I want to be able to help them because I am tired of seeing that in this country, which is, I mean, amazing to see. But yeah, you're tired of seeing it. And a lot of them, and it's not a race thing, it's an every one of them thing. And I see it all the time. And yet, like you said, they look tired, they look haggard. There's a woman that I have met at the AMC theater. She is in her 80s and she works there. And I've
Wow.
watched her fall down. She has a walker. She fell off her walker by accident. They picked her up and they told her she should go home. She goes, no, 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 I can't. I've got to pay my rent. She literally could not leave. Not because they're telling her she should go home and they'll pay her. She's going, no, 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 I have to stay. She does not want to lose her job. So she feels like if they feel like she's too frail, they may let her go.
Right, right.
So, and I feel bad for her. And I want to not just feel bad. I want to be constructive in helping them in some way. And that's one of my big things. I can't stand to see people hurt and me not be able to somehow fix it if I can. And I want to be able to say I can do that or help them in some way. So it's not just
Exactly.
me, it's all in general. I have this idea, this goal, this thought, and I want to see us think about others in a way, ourselves as well, but about others in similar situations and see how we can do what can we do to help them? What our goals are with that.
And especially because we tend to focus more on the spiritual as opposed to the material. But we've got bills and stuff to pay too. And
Yes.
it's not just the elderly. I read this horrible thing where a 26-year-old young man, he lost his health insurance benefits and he
Wow.
was a diabetic. And so he was trying to like ration it out and stretch it. And he ended up dying at 26 years old. He died from a
Wow.
sleep because he couldn't afford his medication. And I'm like, wow, I didn't think insulin was that much. And according to the article, insulin, if you don't have health insurance, if you're on insulin, it's $1,300 a month.
Holy shit.
Now, I remember way back in the olden days, back in the 80s, when I was married to my first husband, and he needed insulin, and it didn't cost that much. And it said in the article that the price of insulin has gone up 10 times since 2008. And I'm like, what the hell is going on that we're willing to let young people, anybody die, whatever your age is?
Yes, that's just all of that just seems so wrong. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. And so I'm thinking to myself, I wish we had every other spiritual, like the Catholic Church or the Baptist or whatever, they have charities that'll help or pay your bill or whatever, your electric bill. I would like to have something like that for witches, where if they can't pay their rent or they can't afford their
Yeah.
vacation that month, maybe we could chip in
Find
or
a
help
yeah. Well, it's
or
not just chip in. We have to find a way that we don't have to just chip in. This is what I mean. We have to be able to work in a smarter way that we can somehow divvy away not just monies for our retirement, but monies that we kind of say all of us because they have this thing in Canada, which is where I'm from. Um, they call it mother's allowance. Just give it a name, but that's the one they gave it because it was mainly given to moms, mostly single parents or whatever that is taking care of kids. And the idea concept was it's not welfare. It was we will give you a leg up so that you can be able to go learn nursing or something like that. And when you find a job, you then from your paycheck give a small amount each month so that it will help another person. And then when they come off of it, they don't stay on it. They give you that leg up with your rent and everything else. And we lived in a beautiful townhouse with a basement and an attic and everything and a garage private and everything. And that was part of the mother's allowance. And we paid rent and everything, but it was just lower. And we even
Mhm.
had a garden in the back. And all of that was part of that, and always near parks for kids because you have kids. And when my mom went on to nursing and then eventually to becoming an English professor, she still to this day gave money towards that program that helped, and each person gave a leg up. Somehow it has to be give it a name, whatever it is, and find a way for us to do similar. Because if we don't start taking care of each other, no one else will. If you're listening to the government right now, no one gives two shits. I want to use the other word, but you know what I mean. They
I
don't.
understand.
They give no shits as to what's going to happen to us because they're the ones that are on the top 10% or 1%, and it doesn't affect them. So what does not affect affect them, they have no care about, and they can't even see it. Forget about care about it. So we have, because we are in between that, or whatever we are in the scheme of things, we have to think outside the box and start saying, okay, let's find a way that we take care of one another in that way. We're not on welfare, we're not on whatever, we are on a system that's helping one another, and it's a leg up for each person. And it means whether that person should not have been able to die at 26 years old. It has nothing to do with age, it has to do with their needs. Whether it's, finding a way to get them better, or less priced medication and all the different things, or even come up with an herbal version of it that can help that person, whatever we have to do. But we have to think smarter. We have to use our brains. We have all these gifts, which is our empaths, all of us, whatever you want to call yourself, we are talented people.
You
We
know
have
what?
got to use our brains to find an answer.
You know what the answer is? I'm going to figure out what the answer is focus on wealth. We don't do it. We
Yes,
could change ideas. It's ideas that are not going to pay for someone's medication. It's not going to pay to help someone pay their rent, their mortgage, or anything else. You know what does is money. And that is where spiritual people, I've said it before, I will say it again, focus on money. There is nothing wrong with it. You hear so many people, oh, we shouldn't be focused on material things and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, you should. Unless you want to be working until you literally die, you better be focused on your wealth. You better be shoring up your finances. That's what you need to be doing. And that will enable, in my present condition, can I give somebody $1,300 so that they can pay their medication or hire a lawyer to fight the insurance companies? No. But if I focus on wealth and build wealth, I'll be able to be so much more able to help others. And if we all did that, focused on our wealth, and then put that money together collectively, then we could do a whole hell of a lot. But just talking about it and
it's not
wishing
helping. Yep,
and
yep.
no, we as spiritual people, we have got to focus more on money. And
I'll tell you something with that part. You said something earlier that touched it. You said that they're like, no, we need to focus on other things. We're not the hippies from the 50s, the 60s, where we kind of love children or whatever it is and don't have a care in the world. We're not any of those things. We're smart, educated witches. And one of the things that people have to keep remembering is money is what rules this world in the sense of what we have to pay for. Our going, oh, we can't do this. We can only focus on the spiritual and all the different things. It's not, like you said, it's not going to cover the bills. It's not going to cover our natural needs, and that's just the way the world is. But you're talking to people who, unfortunately, we are all in this Christian mode. I call it the Christian mode of where, no, we have to keep giving everywhere else, and we can't accept money for our gifts. We can't accept money for any of our things. So we have to just give everything away, and we don't have and we're not going to accept money for it because money is evil. Well, no, it's not. If money was so evil, the Christians and the Catholics and whatever it is that collect the tithe every month, which is why they are so rich, would be saying, well, don't give us the money. But they don't. They say accept it. As a matter of fact, the tithes are 17% of your income every month, or every time you get paid. So they're accepting it. So I have no idea why the concept has passed on to all of us, and we can't seem to get out of that concept in our heads. We are not Christians. We are human beings. And the reality is, bills have to be paid. Our medications have to be paid for. And we cannot pay for it with love
yeah,
or spirituality. We can't. It's
love
reality. And our gifts and our talents, just like a lawyer and a doctor, that's their gift and their talent. Our gifts and talents are other things. We get paid for it. And to this day, people still talk about it on Facebook saying they don't know why people are charging for these things. And I don't want to go into that part of it, but you know what I mean. I'm just saying we have to be smarter than that, and we all have gifts. We all have talents. And I guarantee you there are accountants among us. There are lawyers among us. There are educated people that are very good with numbers and investors and mindset with certain things. Why are we not combining our skills, our different skills, and saying this is what we're going to do for our goals to make sure that we all cover ourselves going into the future from the young to the very old? We don't do that.
Theory about that. I really do with people because I see it. I saw this little ad on, little Facebook ads, little sponsored ads, and it was for a Reiki course that you could take for like $20. I'm like, man, I spent so much money on my training, but whatever. That's not the point. The point is that they in the comments there were people talking about, oh, I wanted to do Reiki and blah 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 blah, and I want to learn it, blah blah blah. And this one guy said, and keep in mind, I mean, this course was literally like $20. I mean, it was like cheap as hell to become a Reiki master, which I will tell you, as a Reiki master, that is very suspect to me. That
It doesn't sound right, right?
in one course, all of a sudden you're a Reiki master. It just doesn't work that way. But still, whatever. The point of the matter is that in the comments, a guy wrote in there, oh, if you want to learn Reiki, learn it from someone who will teach you for free or for just a small donation. You shouldn't have to pay for the training.
Oh my goddess.
Really?
Can we bitch slap that guy? Can we bitch slap him or throat punch?
I'm going to say something. I said, you know what? I'm not going to get on this battlefield. I'm just going to leave it be.
Pick your battles.
I've been saying this to a lot of people because I have, for some reason, a lot of us not all of us, there are plenty of rich witches out there. You might not know they're witches, but like half of Hollywood is probably witches, doing their thing and getting their stuff done. But it occurred to me, because there's so many people that really believe that we should just be, walking around in whatever clothes we have in the desert and feeding people with no money that we have, but giving away what we have. And I said, you know what? Because we typically, it's been my experience with talking to people and doing past life regressions, many of us who are spiritualists were spiritualists throughout different various lifetimes. And many of us have taken vows of poverty, of chastity, of all of these things. I personally, I know from a past life regression, I've been a nun. I got kicked out of a convent. Cool for me. But so we've taken vows. A lot of different spiritual cultures, they take spiritual vows of a nun or a priest or a shaman, whatever culture it is. That might have been 10 lifetimes ago, but you've still got the same soul that took that vow. Yep. And your soul may be honoring that vow, even though it is no longer applicable to your life. So what I did and what I've been teaching my clients, and it's actually working for all of us, is we've renounced the vows. I renounced the vows from my past life. They're no longer applicable to me.
That's what I'm doing too. Yep, revocation ritual.
Chastity, any vow that is holding me back is now released because it is no longer applicable to my life. I broke the vow and rescinded the vow. That actually helped me tremendously, because your subconscious, consciously, we go about and we're saying, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and we have our plans, but your subconscious rules 88% of what you do. And your subconscious remembers, oh, but, I know you said you wanted to make $100,000 this year, but let's not forget, we took a vow that said we weren't going to do that. We aren't going to make money. We're just going to be poor and live in just one little single-celled room with just a cot. And we're just get out in the streets and help people and have no money of our own. And so if you really feel like, oh, I shouldn't make money, or you feel that badly about having money, or you feel guilty about having money, that could be because you took
past lifetime,
and another lifetime. And then if you were raised Christian like I was, although I will tell you, the Christianity that is put out there has nothing to do with Christ. It's just the ministry made up. But they used to scream at us, literally from the pulpit, that money was the root of all evil. easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to go to heaven and blah, blah, blah. And it never occurred to us as they're screaming at us and implanting that into our subconscious that money is bad. And then they're like, okay, I have a donation now. We'll
Yes,
pass them.
that's what I mean. I was waiting for you to say that because I'm like, that's exactly what they do. They
I
are the
didn't put
richest
it together
people.
when
They
I
are the
was
richest groups of people,
younger.
and that's because of what they do. The tithing and all the pass around
Yeah, you will see many ministers live in mansions. They drive
yep,
big cars.
drive Mercedes and everything else, and
And
you guys are listening to them
too,
tell you to live in poverty, really? You know?
yes, because they don't want to share it with you. They want to keep it all to themselves. And so it's very important for us, I feel, as spiritualists, if you're having an issue making money or if you feel guilty about having money because you were told that, oh my God, if I have money, it's evil and I'm going to do evil things and blah, 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 then you need to renounce the vow and you need to
Yep,
rethink
you need to do
what
that.
they are telling you about why you should not have any money. You have to support your family. You
Yep.
have to support yourself. There is no reason for you not to have it. And you see all these ministers, especially these TV ministers, with their have airplanes and everything. And then meantime, are they taking that money and saying, oh, look, I have a parishioner who's homeless or I have a parishioner who's pregnant
And
and
they
doesn't.
don't care.
No, they don't care. They don't
That's what
care
I
at all.
mean. That's what I mean. And they have this, and I call that the Christian mentality or the whatever the not our mentality, but for some
Right.
reason it's ingrained in all of us. And you do the renouncing, I do the revocation ritual, and it works. It's almost exactly the
It
same, just a
works.
different name, and it
It works.
really well. And you guys have got to do it because if you don't, I've heard people say, let me get the Christian out of you. You can't just do it like that because it's not just a Christianity, it's an induction that's been going on for centuries. As much as many of you guys say, you're kind of counterproductive to yourself in a lot of ways. You say things like, I'm going to change so and so in this time, but yet some of you are like, but I don't know if I've been here before. And then on the other hand, you go, and I ask you, do you believe you've been here many lifetimes, right? You believe in reincarnation, right? So that
Right.
means the amount of things, the baggage, and I'm calling it what it is: luggage, baggage, chain bolts. You talk about, how men say the ball and chain.
Right.
We all have the ball and chain from the past lifetimes. Baggage, you're dragging that foot, the different things. Even our illnesses are based on baggage from our past. The illnesses that some of us are suffering now, based on baggage that you carried from the past. And if you do not start to either renounce it or revoke it, all of those things, if you don't start doing those things, a lot of it will stay with you till the day you die again. And then when you
Yes.
come back with another one, it will keep on going. At some point, you have to break the cycle, break it
You
up.
have to make it. And not only
You just
that,
go on to the next
it doesn't just extend to, taking a vow of poverty or like if you can't stay or get a boyfriend or a girlfriend ever, maybe you took a vow of chastity. But even as spiritualists, there's other things too. If you are a spiritualist, especially, you'll see a lot of us witches, we pack a little extra weight on our hips and everywhere else. But a lot of that even could be because back in the olden days, um, if you were heavy or a big woman, you were considered fertile. Skinny girls didn't get a date. They thought that because you were big, your hips were wide, you could bear more children. It was a sign of prosperity. It meant you came from a wealthy family. So women strive to be plump. Or if you read old books from like the 20s, they don't describe the women as shapely. They're like she was plump and beautiful.
Yeah.
She had, if you look at the images of the old goddesses, they weren't these skinny, like the Venus de Milo and wherever it is. You look at those statues of the old fertility goddesses, they look like me.
Yeah.
Well, big hips, big thighs. They were big because that was considered beautiful back then. And so if you're having a hard time losing weight, or if you just keeping the weight on and you just say, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? It can also be because you're holding on to a lifetime where being big was considered beautiful. It was considered wealthy. It was considered healthy to be a big woman, as opposed to being, if you were thin, you were considered to come from a poor family and you were sickly. Where so the men went for the bigger girls. And so in your mind, that is your idea of beauty. And so even though you didn't take a vow to it, your soul remembers that that's what beautiful is. It accepts that as beauty. Now, being big to me, I consider myself to be a very beautiful woman. I have no problem with my beauty. What I do have a problem with is, how is this affecting my health? How is this affecting my blood pressure? How is it affecting my heart
Yeah.
and things like that? I want to get physically fit so that I don't have to worry about, getting diabetes or having a stroke or whatever it is. And so, back then you also have to consider people didn't live that long. So they weren't even really worried about, I want to I want my heart to keep beating when I'm still 80 years old. They didn't live to be 80.
Yeah.
They made it to 30 back then. Just as late as 1920, the average lifespan was only 44.
And
So,
that, as you said, the number 44, they were 44, but they looked like they were in their 60s.
yeah, but they looked like they were in their 60s or their
They did,
70s, older.
exactly, so we really
You
have to start doing something different. And you're right. That's the reason I want to work out or go to the pool or whatever it is. I want to feel how I used to feel when I was at the gym 6 days a week. And I didn't
Mhm.
even think anything about it. That was my addiction. I was at the gym 6 days a week and I felt like I was on high,
Right.
smiling every day. I was so happy. The endorphins, you know what I mean? I was high on endorphins, my natural body high. And I loved it. And I miss that so much that I want to try to do something, even though my joints hurt trying to do it. I am going to maybe try the pool. I'm going to try whatever. I have to do it because I want to feel that again. It gives
Absolutely.
you
Not
an
only
energy.
that, it will help you to live longer, but it's something I really do think that a lot of us have an issue because of past life things. And so if you're having a hard time, it's like, oh my God, every year I'm battling my weight, I'm battling my weight. Consciously you're saying that, but your subconscious saying, but this is what goddesses look like. We're beautiful. We're God, and you are beautiful. The only reason they
You
hammer
got to
us
be healthy.
is because they want our heart to be healthy and they want our joints, the weight weighs on your joints, you want our joints to keep working and things like that. So you really should, or we really should examine our souls and say, you know what, soul of mine, back 2,000 years ago, I was the Beyonce of 2000 BC because of my hips. However, in this day and age, because I want to live to be 100 plus, I need my joints to be able to carry me around,
Yes.
to keep beating. And so I have to actually lose the weight, not because it's going to make me any more beautiful. I personally, call me conceited. I don't care what you call me conceited. I think I'm gorgeous. I do. But I have to lose it because I want to be around for a while. There's a lot of things I want to do. I want to be around. If there's this one guy, he just died at 112, and he had his mind intact at 112 years old, which I thought was
Wow.
awesome.
Now, see, now that rocks.
Be
That is
able to do
rocking.
that. I want to be able to do that, but we do have to consider, if we're having such a hard time with something, is it from a past life? Is the past life keeping us from fulfilling what it is we're trying to do in the present? And we have to stop and say, okay, you know what? I'm renouncing all of these old vows that are no longer applicable to me. Yes, I have the body of a goddess, but I need also to have my heart beating well and my joints beating well. I'll still have the body of a goddess, but I have to look at my health, my aching hip or whatever it is. We have to talk to our souls and explain things have changed now. Things have changed, and now we've got to do something a little bit more differently, because I really do believe a lot of our inability to to create the wealth that we want, or the guilt that we feel about it, is due to vows that we may have taken in another lifetime, or our bodies back in the other lifetime might have been considered to be the most beautiful things ever, but in this lifetime we're trying to live to be longer, and so we have to kind of rethink that too. And I think if we do that, if we do ceremonies for to relieve ourselves of the past lives, or get a past life regression, so at least you can know what your problem is, that can really help you a lot. We're going to take a look at what's happening in our chat room, because we haven't looked at that in a while, and I know it adds up. So let's scroll upwards to see where
And
we
also,
are.
like 2000 BC or whatever it is, a lot of what they did not know, we know now. We're more educated, we're more knowledgeable about our health, and we realize, yes, some of us was beautiful the way we were, but now it's we want to have the beauty, but we want to have the health. We want to rock that hips at the same time. I know that everything about it is all healthy. And we want to do that. It feels good. It really, really does. It feels great being in great health, not perfect health because we can't always be perfect with our health. But
Right.
it does feel great when you're at you're at the best health for yourself. It feels wonderful, and you want to have that.
It
I
was
want to go into
really
my older
good.
age saying bye-bye to the lupus and kind of saying, even if you're there, you're going to see me looking wonderful and trying to get around a lot better and everything else. I want to be able to feel that, not, that high again, that endorphin high again. It's awesome. I have to tell you, if I could bottle it and sell it, I would do that. It was so good.
Somebody probably will, because you just had to figure out a way to bottle and sell it. But let's see what we got here. We've got Jem says, wait, okay, we read that one. Okay, so Debbie says, I'm first right now. I'm scared if I need surgery, but if it means no pain and being better, I know my witch tribe will send divine energies. Absolutely, they will.
Yep. Yep.
So we've Junior, who says, I mostly work out at home. I've created my own gym at home, my own little at-home gym, because
Yeah.
I generally don't like going to the gym in my apartment because it's always packed in there. Good for you. Hey, Satsuki and Dine Moon. Good to
Yeah.
see
Good to have you guys.
you. We have Chanel here. Happy new moon and blessings. And so Micah goes on to say, so is all this business really living? I slowed down last year and I'm slowing down more and decluttering my home. Good. I need to do that too.
Yep. Yep.
My husband gave me a chair gym, which I am going to start using on Monday. That's
Yep.
awesome.
There you go, girl. You go do that.
You do that. Goddess Debbie is trying to include more physical exercise.
Woo!
Another thing, like more walking. Good.
Yep. I do that a lot. I'm trying to walk a lot everywhere I go. And you know what? Check out your sexy legs, girl. The more you walk, check out the sexy legs on you.
Oh, there you go. We've got Charnel that likes working smarter, not harder. And we've got Debbie who says it seems elderly people are working in order to pay for their Medicare now. It's
Yep.
true.
Yep. And that's
Um,
sad.
and she even goes on to say that Goddess Debbie says that she's having a hard time even affording food. I can take it. Things are very expensive now. Goddess Junior says, I made myself an intention journal. Very nice. And I write down realistic daily goals and intentions that get me closer to achieving my bigger goals. Very good. Hey, Goddess Pam.
One really quick thing.
Uh-huh.
That is Debbie. When you said it's getting to the point where you can't even afford to get food. This is one of the reasons why, if you know of any events that are pagan oriented nearby that you're going to, ask them to start collecting foods. If every person, and I try to do that at Witches Fest, you've seen me try to do that, Goddess Rhonda.
Mhm.
Every if every person that comes to the event brings one item of food, could you imagine one item with all the people that come to our events? Even if it's a can of soup, and you bring it and you put it on the side, and the people that needs it from our community could come by and instead pack up a bag of groceries for themselves to take home.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we're not asking even for money. We're asking for food, whatever it is. Try to make it healthy foods. Okay, some of it has to be non-perishable. But if we can do some of that, that helps. That eases up in some way. You know what I mean? If we can find ways to do that for one another at different events that we know going on, whether it's a pagan pride or it's a whatever the event is, suggest that they do that. And anybody from our community that needs it signs up, or let them know that they will come by to get the food so that it's not sitting there all day. You know what I mean? But I think something like that should work. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
We have on our pagan side, they collect food, but also, Goddess Debbie, there was a time in my life when I was just beyond broke, and I ate out of a food pantry. We have a lot of food pantries that I would go to one. It was in Rio Rancho. I can't remember exactly where it was. It was like St. Paul's or St. Peter's or something. And they just fill up a bag, and there was all food that was donated by Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. It wasn't junk. And, you really can, if you look into the food pantries, you can eat for free, because I had to do it. I remember graduating from the food pantry to the Dollar Tree, and I was so proud of myself that I could grocery shop in the Dollar Tree and I didn't have to go to the food pantry anymore. So I do understand what that is, but we do have help here for you. If you private message me, I would try to remember exactly what that charity was,
Right.
and I tell you where to go, and you can get bags of food. I think you can go 3 times a week, and they give you like vegetables, everything, and so you never have to worry about
I gotta
going.
tell you guys too. I know a lot of people don't understand it, but really, Trader Joe's is amazing. I have shopped at Trader Joe's and bought chicken, like the package of chicken legs, a
Sure.
dollar 94 for a pack of chicken legs.
Yes.
$1.94. I kid you not. And this is in Manhattan at Union Square. That's a very expensive neighborhood. And that $1.94. So there's a lot of things that healthy foods you can go to Trader Joe's for, and you would get all of this. People say, "Oh, Trader Joe's meats are expensive." $1.94. I'm sorry, I don't know. Key Food and all the other places, their foods are way more expensive than Trader Joe's. So, I mean, it's just a thought. If you have one of those that's nearby, or if you can get to it, um, they do have things. And Trader Joe's is amazing. They give out food a lot. If they know that you're in need, you go talk to them, and they're pretty good with helping as many as they can. I don't know a company that's so charity given as Trader Joe's. They really do help as much as they can. So,
They do.
I'm just saying we have to find a way to even if us as a group decide, let's find resources that we know of that we can help, and set up a list of places that people can go in different states or cities, and say, okay, this is a pantry list of places in New Mexico or in New York or in whatever it is. But we have to try to, I don't know, we have to try to find a way to help ourselves, because no one else is doing it for us. So if we don't ourselves decide to do something about it collectively, who else will?
Nobody.
It's just a thought. It's just a thought.
Nobody will if we don't. And so,
Go ahead, girl.
Divine Goddess says, "Hello, ladies. Hello, Divine Goddess." Goddess Peggy says that's the way it should be. People need to take care of each other. Zakia says, "Happy new moon, everyone." You're not late, Goddess. We're still here. We've got This is a beautiful idea indeed. Such would offer an improvement to the answer of religion-based charity, a love-based charity to those in need with no strings attached. That's exactly right. Will offer a blessing and love. And money is spiritual, so real. Much of the Christian way has lost its way a long time ago. If you really think of it, money is just an exchange. Money is energy.
Yeah,
I'm
it is.
exchanging energy for energy. Food for money, money for food, money for clothes. It's still energy
It's
for
energy,
energy.
all of it.
It is. It's all energy. Debbie says, she just heard a young girl scream coming from a microphone or speaker. Okay, I didn't hear that, but I hope that, if someone's screaming that they're okay.
Yeah.
Peggy, church wanted 25, oh my goodness, 25% of your gross income.
Oh
She's
my
like,
goddess. I am glad you said no. Oh my
she,
goddess. Are they nuts? Have they lost their bloody minds?
that's
Right.
crazy.
Yeah. I thought 17% was bad enough. 17% is a lot. And you're saying 25%? I hope you bitch slap them.
That was just crazy. They wouldn't get that.
I'd slap them and say, no.
And
This
we've got Chanel who says,
is
pay
how
the
greedy they're
penny,
getting.
masters.
The fact that they're able to say it means that they don't care. They really don't care. They're just like, somebody's going to give it, and they walk away. Somebody's going to give it, and they will. They
Right.
will.
They will. And then Vanessa, Goddess Vanessa says, live life to the fullest. Absolutely. Chanel says, absolutely nothing to do with Christ. The Christian movement is an absolute form of oppression, perpetuating confusion, fear, and guilt upon the masses, and the preachers are the gods in the churches. That is very, very true. She goes on with that mentality. Hold on, let me just scroll this up.
I know that thing.
Okay, the goddess look. Yep, still in fashion in the world outside of the USA and Western Europe. She thought it was funny that I was saying I'm the BC Beyonce. Sassy Mossy said the guy was 112 years old and he drank and he smoked and he lived his best life.
Gotta live your life, man, and live it well. That's the problem. I think a lot of us are not living well, and we need to live well. Enjoy your life.
Absolutely. And Goddess Debbie says, we got those, but with my diet, I know that these places don't have healthy foods. I wish we had a Trader Joe's. You might have a Sprouts. Sprouts is, I don't know where you are, Goddess Debbie, but there are a lot of Sprouts around too. They are much
Never heard
cheaper.
of them. I've never heard of them.
They're much cheaper than Whole Foods, but it's all local farmers. You get your meats and things there, and you could buy like all this meat for less than $20 and have like meat for days, like forever, because they also, and they have, manager specials and things. So see if they have a Sprouts, or if you don't have that, look and see if you have a farmers market or a flea market that farmers go and sell, because local farmers will often sell a lot cheaper than the stores do, because they don't have the overhead that the big farmers had to use, with like acres, thousands of acres. They just have their little plot of farm, and so they can afford to sell it cheaper because they don't have
Yeah.
overhead. So hopefully
Yeah.
that.
In New York, it's not that way, sadly, because a lot of we have a farmers market in Union Square, and where they are, they're expensive. I don't buy from farmers market because I can't afford them. So what I do is I go to Trader Joe's, because all those things I can get so inexpensively, that I ration myself.
And organic. Trader Joe's has so
Yep,
many
it's
organic.
organic and great foods. And I mean, chicken, a bag of chicken, a package of chicken legs for $1.94. That could last you, well, not when you have a son like mine, but they can eat. But you know what I mean. I'm just saying, their foods can make you last very long, and what you pay for it for what you get. The organic part, it's healthier and it's inexpensive. I had to give you an example. I was nearby a Key Food, and I said, oh, I don't want to go to Trader Joe's right now. I just shop at Key Food. And I went to get the ground beef, which I normally pay $4.88 for the pound of 90% lean at Trader Joe's, $4.88. I went and I saw it, and I thought I saw it said $3.99 for the lean ground beef. So I was like, oh my gosh, they actually beat Trader Joe's. I've never seen that. So I went to go pay for it, and she told me it was $9.99 plus tax. I was like, for what? She goes, well, this is lean, 90%. I said, and it said $3.99. And she goes, when she went back with me and she showed me, no, this is the one that's $3.99. And if you saw it, you're like, I'm not eating that.
Wow.
Not eating that. It said like 60% or something. I said, it
Ew.
looks paler than, I said, I've never seen meat look healthy looking like that. It's not healthy.
Right. That's disgusting.
Oh my goodness. I'm just saying, if you can get, I don't know the Sprouts that Goddess Rhonda mentioned. I've never heard of it, but whatever you can find in your neighborhood, or the farmers in your neighborhood, if they can do it. I've had people say that they actually go to some of the farmers and they make a deal with them to buy from them directly and things like that. do what you have to do, because a lot of these farmers are happy to have the extra sales and all of that because they're also struggling themselves. So if it can all manage to help one another, then I say more power to it. It doesn't hurt to ask. All they can say is no. So my
Right.
motto has always been, okay, fine. It may seem absurd or, whatever it is, I'm going to ask anyways. And a lot of times they tell me yes, or, I never thought of that. We can work that out. And I'm like, I've
Right.
never started my ask and never know, you know? So give it a
So,
try, because I want to see us all. And if we can find a way to help, maybe create a resource booklet or something like that in our group, you know, telling us where we can get certain things in each city, I think that helps, because a lot of us don't know about resources, period. Like you mentioned, the pantries and the different things. We don't
mhm.
know our resources and we don't know where to go get it. But among ourselves, I don't know many pagan groups that say that, okay, I would love to say we have a place that we can say, all of you pagans come over and take what you need. You know what I mean? And every day we get foods coming in from these places. But people like Trader Joe's or the other companies, they will give us food if they know that we are a nonprofit and that people will come and get food. So we as a temple, we would love to do that. We just don't have anywhere to keep it in New York. We don't have a building of our own, which is why we created Witches Fest, to try to eventually do that.
Right.
We did. If we had our own building, we would create that and have Trader Joe's and other places bring us the food so we can help. We just got to find, everything has a vicious cycle of what they can do and what they cannot do. But that's some of my goals. I would love to see us create so many things for us so that we can become self-supportive, because that's what the other churches have or the other religions have done. They've become self-supportive. And but the differences are, I don't want to see us become riding that Mercedes or the gold-plated faucets and all of that. I don't need any. I don't need any of that. I'm just saying that we have got to learn to be self-supportive in our community, and we don't see that. For some reason, we're like a splatter. What you see, like if you look at Facebook right now, it hurts. I call it a worm now. I literally call Facebook, oh, this giant worm of instead of the community, a pagan community helping one another, there's all this going on, and they're
Right.
divisive, and I'm just like, can we just stop all that? Can we just do something more cohesive with our time? But it's painful to watch, right? That giant worm is just like two-headed and everything else. But anyway,
Yeah. Oh no, you're absolutely right. And I do, again, I really do believe that we as pagans, witches, warlock, whatever you want to call yourself, we do need to focus on wealth. We need to focus on wealth for our old age, but we
yeah,
also focus
and
on
I've
wealth.
been doing
We
that.
share the wealth.
Do what you have to
It's important. We've got to break out of this poverty mentality. And if you're having a problem, if your goal is to get financially on track and you're having a problem, consider renouncing any vows
do.
that you
Yeah,
have that is holding you back. If you're trying to have a relationship and all your life you can't have one, maybe you took a vow of chastity. Maybe you were a nun and swore you weren't going to have any relationships with anybody, a nun or a priest. You might need to go ahead and renounce that. I think a lot of us, before we can even roll,
move on. Yeah, we need to do that. Yeah,
we need to examine
yeah,
the past.
yeah.
If you can't see a hypnotist to get a past life regression, use your witch, use whatever divination tools that you have to diagnose what went on in your past life, or was it something in your past life that can help you, and then create your small goals of what it is you want to achieve. Like I used to just, I'm going to do this year, I'm going to do that, and
I'm
then my
not doing that anymore. I'm done with that. One of the things I will suggest, though, um, like Goddess Rhonda mentioned about revoking or renouncing all those things, because a lot of when you say a past life regression, sometimes a lot of them don't have access to doing that.
right.
Do the renouncing or the revocation in general, so it
Yeah,
doesn't really matter where in your past that came from. That's what we do, because in the short time that I did a 45-minute workshop at Sleepy Hollow in October, and on the revocation ritual. And I'm so glad that you mentioned the renouncing, whatever you want to call it. But the idea is, and the concept is exactly the same. And the emails that I have gotten from that, or the Facebook messages I've gotten from that short ritual that they did, how much it worked for them, and they took it with them home, and how they've been and they can't believe how many things have changed and helped them since.
When you do
And
that,
I
and I
only did
think
that for 45
also,
minutes quickly.
I've done that with many of my clients. Just in a session, it's like, say it with me. It takes us 2 seconds to
Yep,
do it, and everything changes
changes. Yep,
because
it really
you
does. Really
have to
does.
feel guilty about renouncing a vow that you took 10,000 years ago that has nothing to do with your life.
Your life right now, it doesn't. And if you
It,
don't do it, in general, honestly speaking, I think that's one of the goals everybody should do. Do either renouncing or revoking, whatever you want to call it, do something like that first so you could move on to a bigger
yes.
and better future for yourself in this present life. Because carrying around baggages for each year and then creating a resolution or goal setting at the beginning of each year does not help you if you're still walking around with that luggage behind you and dragging that foot back behind you. So you can't get anything done. So each year is a vicious cycle of this because you haven't done that first part too. So if nothing else that you can take away from this whole time with us, do that first. And I mean do it in general, so that
Do it
even
in
if you,
general.
even if you cannot do or afford or whatever is the past life regression, if you do one in general, it covers everything from every lifetime because that's how it sounds. That's how it's written. And you're removing anything, any contract, any ties, you're removing it all and getting rid of it. And
And
it's
you
I'm
know,
not kidding. From the time you first do the ritual, and however many times you do it, it takes away each time. From the very first one, it takes away, it makes you feel better. From the very first time you do it. I guarantee you that. That's how I've
it
seen it work.
does. It really does. It really helps you. And then the other thing that I want to leave you guys with is now, we talked about healing the past, making small goals for the present. One of the things that has helped me tremendously is, before I would think, oh, I don't have any money. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this. And I realized, as a witch, I'm broadcasting I don't have, I don't have, I don't have. And what I have found to be really helpful that has been life changing for me is to count my blessings. I do, especially before I go to bed. People journal. What is it that you are thankful for? I'm thankful that I am sitting here right now. I've got this laptop. I've got a roof over my head. I've got food in the refrigerator. I'm warm. I have a comfortable bed. I can walk on my own 2 feet. I can type with my own 2 hands. I can talk. I can see. I can hear. I am a blessed and lucky woman. I am so lucky because so many people don't have a home. They don't have a roof. They don't have food. They don't have a lot of
Yeah.
things. If you turn around and realize exactly how much you do have, you will start to feel wealthy. You'll start to feel, well, look how lucky I am. I have this. I am blessed. I have all these wonderful things. And you start broadcasting gratitude and thankfulness for what you have in your fun
Yeah.
and all these great things. And that is going to help to bring all of that stuff to you. And we're focused on what we don't have and how pissed off we are and, what other things are going on in our lives. We create because of our energy for remembering we're witches. That's the energy we're putting out. And that's what we're bringing. We're sort of lassoing back to us. If we actually focus on I don't care how much you think you don't have, if you add up what you do, if you've got a family or even someone in your life who loves you and supports you, if you're sitting here watching us right this very minute on your phone or your tablet, let's be grateful that you have that phone or tablet. Let's be grateful that you can hear what I'm saying, that you can watch me and Got a Star. Let's be thankful that you've got a roof, that you've got food, that you've got all of these things happening for you. And I have to I've got, if I were to go into all my problems, my Lyme disease, my joints hurt, this, that, and the other thing, I'm going to just weigh myself down with emotional energy that is not conducive to me being successful. So when I'm feeling like I am wealthy, I am supported, I've got all these things, I am blessed to have all of these things, I feel good and more blessings come. And so I want you guys also to focus on your blessings. They may seem like, well, I don't really have anything. If you really think about it, you've probably got plenty and you don't know it. You may have, a friend that you can talk to all the time. Maybe it's, my cat. My cat's my best friend. I have my cat. I have something that I can sleep on. I have a business. I have so many things to be grateful for. By the time I'm finished with my gratitude list, whatever problems I thought I had just went away. I didn't even think about it anymore because all of the blessings that I have outweigh that. And now I broadcast, positive energy. I'm blessed, I'm grateful, I'm happy, I'm wealthy with what I have. And that can bring you more too. So thinking about being mindful of your thoughts. And if
And
you find
word.
yourself, I don't have a boyfriend or I don't, my don't worry about that right now. Count your blessings. And the last thing that you want to do is compare yourself to somebody else. Oh, well,
No,
Mary
don't do
has
that.
this, and Joe has that, and Susie has this. All you are doing is casting spells for that person. When you're saying Susie has a great job, you're casting a spell for Susie. When you say Bob's got that beautiful house, he's got a great house, you are casting for Bob. And you're saying, oh, Mary, she's got the best boyfriend ever. You are casting spells for Mary to keep having that best boyfriend ever. That's energy that you need to be focusing on bringing stuff to you. So
You
don't go
said the word, girl.
for everybody else out there when you need to be casting that spell for
For
you.
yourself. Yeah. And what I liked you said too is your word, your choice of words. Because one of the things that people say a lot is, I will get a job this year, or I will become wealthy, or I will become rich, or I will become, I will get money soon. No, your choice of words have to start changing, because if you listen to what Goddess Rhonda just said, she says, I am.
Yeah,
When you start saying I will means it's sometime in the future. You don't want sometime in the future. You want it now.
yeah,
So you have to change your choice of words. I am going to get that money. I am going to be rich. I am going to be wealthy. I am, you know, I am going to go out and get that job. I am, whatever it is, don't put it in the future, because a lot of times that job or whatever it is that you need it now, right? Or you need that money right now to cover that rent, right? So stop
right.
saying I will. Words, especially as a witch, words means everything when the way you word your spells, the way you. This is why there are classes on how to say your spells. There are classes on different things because of the way people say and choose their words with certain things. Because words are powerful. Our thoughts are powerful. All of that with I will, or like Goddess Rhonda said, or oh, my so and so has a beautiful boyfriend. Okay. No, no, no. You have to think in the now for yourself, and you have to start stating those same things, but for yourself. Don't even compare yourself with your past, which I've done. I compared myself to when I was like slender and gorgeous and all of that, and I was like, I want that back, but I can't. This is the body I'm in right now, and the age I'm in right now. So I want to be the beautiful best me now in this body.
Right.
Okay, so when we tell you don't compare yourself to others, we also mean don't compare yourself to your past, because we all know we were young and gorgeous before. It's not happening like that right now. So reality based is we're going to compare ourselves to now, okay, and do the best you can for you now, okay. And I am going to have a beautiful new year, right? A beautiful
Absolutely.
whole new year, and money, and I am going to gain money, and I am going to gain my will and my right and my domain for things, and my magic and everything for this year.
Right.
Okay? So listen to those words from Goddess Rhonda.
Right. We are going to have all those things this year, and we are going to get on our own priority list. We've got to do that. We've got to do that, set our small goals, heal the past, look forward to the future, but work in the present. And we are going to be successful in whatever it is that we endeavor. And we're going to be grateful for everything that I have. Right. I'm very grateful. I just live in gratitude. And when I hear myself, because I have to be mindful of what I'm thinking. If I hear myself make a comment, I was thinking the other day, I was remembering, and this was probably like, oh man, was like in the 80s, or it was probably right after I graduated from high school. And I was doing this exercise class with these women, and it was an older woman, and I call her older. She's probably the age I am now. And she looked at me and she goes, "Oh, you're so flexible. You're so flexible." And I was thinking, I had bent over, and you hear your bones cracking, like crack, crack.
Yes, yes.
I was remembering. I remember when that, to this day, I remember when that woman said, "Oh, you're so flexible." And I'm like, I'm her now. And I was like, wait a minute. Okay, you know what? Maybe I'm not as flexible as I was when I was 18, but my ass can still bend over and pick something up and then get back up again. So I feel like I'm doing pretty good for myself. So I didn't beat myself up. I started to, like, oh, remember when you were 20? And yeah, I remember when I was 20. Guess what? I'm not 20 anymore.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. We are not that anymore. I wish I was, but
I wish, you know
I'm not
what?
that
Oh no,
anymore.
I don't
I
want to
love all of the
be.
ages that I was, but we got to live with the now.
We have to live with it now. And you know what? I'll tell you something. I would not trade this body for my 20-year-old body, because I did not have the wisdom then that I would not give my wisdom away. The only way I would go back is if I can keep my current wisdom. Because there's no way I'm going to
That's
get
the
all that
part.
lessons again.
Yeah. That's the part I always think about. I'm like, I'd love to have
Yeah.
that body again, but then I'm like, I still would not have the wisdom to know what to do with it,
No.
like I do now.
Oh, exactly. What was the point of even having it in the first place?
Yeah, we were like, did not know anything much, but we thought we did. We thought we knew
I
everything.
knew everything. I knew everything when I was 20. I knew everything. You could tell me
Yeah,
nothing.
I have
Knew
so much wisdom to
everything.
take me down.
I knew everything. But anyway, so I know it's like, especially on the East Coast, I know it's really late there. So we're going to go ahead. It's almost like 2 o'clock. So we're
Oh
going
my
to go
gosh,
ahead
yeah,
and
look at the time. Okay, we gotta get going.
we want you to know that we love you.
Yes.
We missed you terribly. We're back in action now. And I hope that you will continue to grow with us as we go throughout the year and talk about our challenges and work through them together. And we're just so grateful to you for all the wisdom that you give us, all the support. And we hope that you will accept all that from us as well, because we
Oh,
just love you.
I have to say this one little thing. I just noticed that Sassy Moxie too said, Goddess Sassy Moxie said, this wisdom and that body would be dangerous.
You know
She's
what?
so right.
You're right. If I had my
It was
20-year-old body and this wisdom, I'd be a dangerous goddess,
yeah,
man.
man. Dangerous wisdom. She's so right though.
She is right. So, with that said, we love you. We thank you. We will see you next week. Blessed new moon.
Yes.
And merry meet,
Merry meet,
merry
merry
part,
death,
and
and
merry.
merry meet again. We love you guys.
We love you guys, and we will see you next week.